I was at the jeweler picking up the engagement ring I'd secretly ordered, $9,000, planning to propose on her birthday next week, when her roommate walked in holding her hand and asked to see wedding bands for their upcoming ceremony. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. Milwaukee in late October carries this particular quality where fall is giving way to something colder. Lake Michigan already looking gray and angry, the leaves mostly gone from the trees, everyone starting to brace for the long Wisconsin winter ahead. I'm 36, been working as an industrial designer for a manufacturing company that makes medical equipment for the past 8 years. Problem-solving work, figuring out how to make complex machines both functional and user-friendly, the kind of job where attention to detail matters because people's health depends on what we build. Quinn is 30, works as a graphic designer for a marketing agency downtown. Creative, always showing me logo concepts and brand campaigns she was developing, constantly talking about her clients and deadlines. We'd been together for a year and 7 months, though she'd kept her own apartment in Bayview the whole time. Said she valued her independence, liked having her own creative space, wasn't ready to officially live together yet. I'd respected that. We spent most nights together anyway, usually at my place in Wauwatosa, and I figured when she was ready to make it official, she'd let me know. The ring had been my project for the past 6 weeks. I'd been planning to propose on her birthday, November 2nd, next Friday. Wanted to do it right, surprise her completely. I'd gone to a jeweler in the 3rd Ward in early September, worked with their designer to create something unique. Sapphire center stone because she'd mentioned once that she loved blue more than diamonds. Rose gold band with intricate detailing. The whole thing custom, designed to her taste. $9,000, which was significant, but I'd been saving for exactly this. The jeweler had called Tuesday saying the ring was ready for pickup. That Thursday afternoon, October 26th, I'd left work early and driven downtown to pick it up. The jewelry store was in a converted warehouse building. High ceilings, exposed brick, the kind of upscale place where they knew your name and treated you like the purchase mattered. The owner, a woman in her 50s named Margaret, greeted me warmly. Cody, perfect timing. Let me get your ring. She disappeared into the back and returned with a small black velvet box. Opened it to show me the ring. It was perfect, exactly what we'd designed together, the sapphire catching the light beautifully, the rose gold work delicate and detailed. It's perfect, I said. She's going to love it. I'm sure she will. You put a lot of thought into this design. Margaret was putting the box into a small shopping bag with tissue paper. When are you proposing? Next Friday. Her birthday. How romantic. I hope she says yes. I'm pretty confident, I said, pulling out my wallet. The door chimed as someone else entered the store. I glanced over reflexively, customer service instinct from retail jobs in college. A woman walked in. Then I realized it wasn't just any woman. It was Quinn. She was holding hands with someone. A woman I'd met once, her roommate Morgan. Quinn had mentioned Morgan a few times, said they'd been college friends who decided to share an apartment to save money. I'd met Morgan briefly about 6 months ago when I'd stopped by Quinn's apartment to drop something off. Quick introduction, friendly enough, nothing memorable. Now they were walking into the jewelry store together, hand in hand, both looking happy and excited. I froze. Margaret noticed my expression, looked toward the door, looked back at me confused. Quinn and Morgan walked up to the counter, different section from where I was standing, about 15 feet away. They didn't see me yet. I was partially blocked by a display case. I heard Quinn say to the jeweler working that section, "Hi, we called earlier about looking at wedding bands?" For Quinn Foster and Morgan Bennett. The jeweler, a younger guy, maybe late 20s, smiled. "Oh yes, congratulations. Let me pull out some options for you." I stood there holding my shopping bag with the $9,000 engagement ring I'd just picked up to propose to Quinn. Watching Quinn and her roommate, Morgan, look at wedding bands together. Margaret was staring at me, clearly confused about what was happening. Quinn was saying something to the jeweler about wanting matching bands, something simple and elegant, budget around $2,000 total. Morgan was leaning against her, their shoulders touching, completely comfortable with each other. The jeweler brought out a tray of wedding bands. Quinn and Morgan started trying them on, holding their hands up next to each other to compare, laughing about something. I should have left. Should have walked out quietly and processed this somewhere private. Instead, I heard myself say, loudly enough to carry, Quinn. She turned, saw me. Her face went absolutely white. Cody. Her voice was barely a whisper. Morgan looked confused, looking between Quinn and me. Who's Cody? I'm Cody, I said, walking over to them. Quinn's boyfriend. We've been together for a year and 7 months. We met at your apartment once, remember? About 6 months ago. Morgan's face changed. You said he was a friend. You said you dated briefly, but it didn't work out. That's what she told you. I looked at Quinn. We've been together for over a year and a half. We spend almost every night together. I was literally just picking up an engagement ring to propose to you next week on your birthday. I held up the shopping bag from Margaret's store. Quinn looked like she might pass out. Cody, I can explain. You're buying wedding bands. With Morgan. For your wedding. It's not. We're not. Morgan stepped away from Quinn. Are you seriously telling me you've had a boyfriend this whole time? While we've been together? While we've been planning our wedding? Morgan, please, let me explain. How long have you been together? Morgan asked me. Year and 7 months. Since March of last year. We've been together for 2 years, Morgan said. Her voice was shaking. Since October 2 years ago. We've been engaged since June. Our wedding is in 3 weeks. I felt like I'd been punched. Your wedding is in 3 weeks. November 16th, Morgan said. She pulled out her phone, opened something, showed me. A wedding planning app. Detailed timeline. Venue, Milwaukee Public Museum. Date, November 16th, 2024. Guest count, 87. Every detail planned out. I looked at Quinn. You're getting married in 3 weeks. To Morgan. While I've been planning to propose to you next Friday. Tears were streaming down Quinn's face. I can explain. Both of you, please, just let me explain. How long have you been living together? I asked Morgan. 2 years. Since we got together. The apartment is ours, both our names on the lease. She told me Morgan was her roommate. That they were splitting rent to save money. Morgan looked at Quinn with pure betrayal on her face. You told him I was your roommate? Your friend from college. I didn't know how to tell either of you. Tell us what? I said. That you've been living a completely double life for almost 2 years? That you've had a girlfriend you're planning to marry while dating me. The young jeweler looked extremely uncomfortable. Margaret had come over from her section, clearly concerned about the scene developing in her store. Maybe we should take this outside, Margaret suggested gently. Good idea, I said. I looked at Quinn. But first, when exactly were you planning to tell me about this wedding? I was going to. I didn't know how. When, Quinn? Before or after you let me propose? Were you going to say yes to me a week before you married Morgan? I don't know. I was confused. Confused about which one of us you wanted to marry? Morgan said. Or confused about how to keep lying to both of us? Both, Quinn whispered. I love both of you. I didn't know how to choose. So you chose to lie to both of us, I said. I've been planning a proposal. Morgan's been planning a wedding. You've been planning to keep us both on the hook as long as possible. That's not. I wasn't. I'm done, Morgan said. She pulled a ring off her finger, an engagement ring I hadn't noticed before, and set it on the counter. The wedding's canceled. Don't contact me. She walked out of the store. Quinn looked at me, desperate. Cody, please, we can talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You've been lying to me for our entire relationship. You live with Morgan. You're engaged to Morgan. You were buying wedding bands for your wedding that's in 3 weeks, while I picked up a ring to propose to you next week. I do love you. You love having 2 relationships. You love having options. You don't love me enough to be honest about the fact that you're marrying someone else in 3 weeks. I turned to Margaret. Can I return this ring? Of course. Given the circumstances, I'll refund the full amount. I handed her the shopping bag. She took it to process the return. Quinn was crying. Cody, please don't do this. I made a terrible mistake, but I can fix it. You can't fix almost 2 years of lying. You can't fix planning a wedding to Morgan while dating me. You can't fix any of this. What am I supposed to do now? I don't know. Maybe figure out who you actually are instead of pretending to be 2 different people for 2 different relationships. Margaret came back with a receipt. Full refund will post to your account within 3 to 5 business days. Thank you, Margaret. I walked out of the store, got in my car and drove. Not home, just drove. Along the lakeshore, through neighborhoods, processing what had just happened. Eventually, I went home to my place in Wauwatosa. Sat in my living room staring at the wall. Then I started doing what I should have done months ago. I verified everything. Opened Quinn's Instagram on my phone. Her account was public for professional reasons. She posted design work and creative content. Started scrolling through her posts with completely new eyes. Lots of design work, client projects, normal professional content. But then I started noticing things I'd overlooked before. Photos from client events that looked more personal. Her tagged in Milwaukee locations by people I didn't know. Found Morgan's profile. Not hard. Quinn followed her, and vice versa. Morgan's profile was mostly public. Recent posts showed their life together. Couple photos, home renovation projects, their cat, normal domestic life. Going back through Morgan's posts. September, a photo of Quinn and Morgan at what looked like a wedding venue tour. August, photos of them at what was clearly a wedding dress shopping appointment. July, engagement photos, professional shots of them together, clearly taken to announce their engagement. June, a photo of Morgan's hand with an engagement ring. Caption, she asked and I said yes. Can't wait to marry my best friend. Ring. Quinn had commented, love you so much. Can't wait to be your wife. Red heart. This comment was from June. For months into my relationship with her, I kept scrolling back. Found photos from a year ago, a year and a half ago, Quinn and Morgan together constantly. Couple photos. Vacation photos. Furniture shopping. Painting their apartment together. A whole documented relationship that had been happening the entire time she was with me. I took screenshots of everything. Every post, every comment, every piece of evidence. Then I checked our text message history with fresh perspective. All the times Quinn had said she was working late at the apartment or having a quiet night at home, she'd been with Morgan. All the weekends she'd said she needed creative time alone, she'd been with Morgan. Every roommate, reference, that was her fiancé. My phone started buzzing. Text from Quinn. Calls I didn't answer. I blocked her number. Then Morgan called. I answered. Cody? This is Morgan. I got your number from Quinn's phone before I blocked her. I'm sorry you got caught up in this. I'm sorry you did too. I had no idea you existed. She told me she was single when we met, that she'd had some bad relationships, but was ready for something real. She told me she'd been single for a while before we met, that she was ready for a serious relationship. How many nights a week did you see her? 4 or 5 usually. Sometimes 6. I saw her every night we weren't together, which means she was splitting her time perfectly between us. I'm home most weeknights. You probably saw her most weekends. I thought about it. Yeah. She usually stayed at my place Friday through Sunday, sometimes Monday. She told me those were work trips, client meetings in Chicago or Madison, networking events. I never questioned it. Jesus. The wedding is in 3 weeks. We have 87 people invited. We've paid deposits on everything. Venue, catering, photographer, flowers. She was supposed to do final dress fittings next week. Were you going to invite people from work? Her work? Some of them, yes. What? I know people at her agency. They probably know about me. She would have had to uninvite them or risk them recognizing me in couple photos. Or she was planning to uninvite you before the wedding. Tell you some excuse why she needed space or needed to end things. I hadn't thought of that. That would make sense. Can't have the boyfriend show up at the wedding to your girlfriend. Fiancé. We were engaged. I'm sorry. Me too. Pause. Are you going to try to get her back? No. Are you? Fuck no. I don't marry liars. Same. Good luck, Cody. You too, Morgan. Over the next few days, the contact attempts from Quinn came in waves. Friday, email from Quinn. Subject, please let me explain. Long message about being confused, about caring about both of us, about not knowing how to handle having feelings for 2 people, about making terrible decisions, about wanting to make it right. I didn't reply. Deleted it. Saturday, Quinn showed up at my apartment. I didn't answer the door. She stood outside for 30 minutes crying and knocking before finally leaving. Sunday, text from a number I didn't recognize. Cody, this is Quinn's sister Faith. She told me what happened. She's devastated. Can you please talk to her? I replied, your sister was engaged to Morgan while dating me. She was buying wedding bands for a wedding 3 weeks away while I picked up an engagement ring to propose to her. There's nothing to talk about. Monday, voicemail from Quinn's mom. Cody, this is Patricia, Quinn's mother. I don't know if you'll listen to this, but I wanted you to know the wedding has been canceled. Morgan ended things. Quinn is heartbroken and wants to make things right with you. Please consider giving her another chance. I deleted it without calling back. By mid-November, I was completely reset. The $9,000 from the ring refund had gone into my investment account. I'd blocked Quinn on everything. Started going to a different coffee shop in the mornings, a different gym, avoiding places I might run into her. Work stayed busy. Year-end product launches meant long hours and complex deadlines. The focus helped. Started taking a Vietnamese cooking class, learned proper pho technique, banh mi assembly, fresh spring rolls. The precision and layering of flavors was meditative. Late November, I ran into Morgan at a Bucks game. We were both there with different groups of friends, saw each other during halftime. Cody, hi. How are you? Good, Morgan. You? I'm okay. Managing. The wedding cancellation was expensive, lost about $8,000 in deposits, but better than marrying someone who's capable of that level of deception. That's how I feel about the ring. $9,000. But I found out who she really was before I proposed. We both dodged something terrible. Have you heard from her? She tried contacting me for about 2 weeks. I blocked her everywhere. You? Same. Her family tried to intervene, but I'm done. Good. You deserve better than someone who sees you as one of multiple options. You too. We talked for a few more minutes, comparing notes on things we'd missed, patterns we should have noticed. Then we went back to our respective friend groups. Early December, I was at Collectivo Coffee in the 3rd Ward, working on some design sketches for a project, when Quinn walked in. She saw me immediately, hesitated, then walked over. Cody. Hi. Quinn. How are you? I'm good. You? I'm surviving. I moved to a new apartment. Smaller place, just me. Lost my job at the agency. They found out about everything and said it created a trust issue with clients. That's rough. Morgan won't talk to me. Her whole family hates me. My family is disappointed. Everyone knows what I did. Actions have consequences. I know. She sat down without asking. I wanted to tell you I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not just about losing you, but about lying to you for our entire relationship. About planning to marry Morgan while dating you. About being too cowardly to be honest with either of you. I appreciate you saying that. Is there any chance we could try again? I'm single now. No more Morgan. No more lies. Just me, trying to figure out who I actually am. No, Quinn. Why not? Because you spent almost 2 years lying to me every single day. You lived with Morgan while dating me. You planned a wedding while letting me plan a proposal. That's not something you do to someone you love. I did love you. You loved having 2 relationships. You loved having the creative partner in Morgan and the stable partner in me. You loved having options. You didn't love either of us enough to be honest. She started crying. I know I don't deserve another chance. I know I destroyed everything. I just thought maybe. Maybe what? That I'd be desperate enough to take you back after you tried to marry someone else. I wasn't going to go through with it. I was planning to call it off. When? A week before? A day before? Or were you going to marry Morgan and keep me as a backup? I don't know. I really don't know what I was planning. I was just trying to survive day to day without either of you finding out about the other. That's not love, Quinn. That's just cowardice. She didn't argue, just sat there crying. You should go, I said. She stood up, wiped her face. You look happy, really happy. I am. I'm glad. You deserved so much better than what I did to you. She walked out. I finished my coffee and my design sketches. The work was good, solving a problem with a medical device interface that had been bothering me for weeks. Found the solution through careful attention to how users would actually interact with it. Later, I went home to my apartment. The place felt like mine again. I'd redecorated slightly, changed some furniture arrangements, made it clear this was my space. I made Vietnamese pho from scratch, 18-hour bone broth, careful spice balance, perfect assembly. The kind of cooking that requires patience and precision. The $9,000 I'd gotten back from the ring had already grown in the market. No complications, no shared assets, no lies to untangle. I didn't feel triumphant about Quinn's situation. I felt clear about the decision I'd made. Working in industrial design had taught me that the best products are the ones where form matches function, where what something appears to be actually matches what it does. Quinn had appeared to be my girlfriend while functioning as Morgan's fiancée. The mismatch was fundamental and unfixable. I didn't feel vindicated. I felt whole. When you walk into a jewelry store to pick up the engagement ring you secretly ordered and see your girlfriend buying wedding bands for her upcoming marriage to someone else, do you confront her immediately or do you process it privately first? Share your perspective in the comments.